Привет из Сингапура! С вами передача «Голубь мира», где разбираем крутые навыки. Спрашиваем на английском, отвечаем на русском. Подтягивайте язык или смотрите перевод в тайм-кодах. Let's talk about wakefulness and let's start with the definition.
Wakefulness, this is a method how you make your life more colorful, richful, and joyful. When you work, you are tired. When you're tired, you want to sleep. When you have a rest, you maybe lose some time for TV shows, maybe for some not useful talks with friends. When we talk about wakefulness, we think that it should be plenty of things which is useful for your life.
In terms of the fundamentals or building blocks that actually makes the wakefulness efficient, let's talk about what are they.
You should think about your body like a car. You have a modern car and it is given for you for whole life, and you should treat it properly, and it will serve you as a new, for example, for 50 or 60 years. Now we will live more longer and longer, and maybe some of our listeners or viewers will live maybe for 100 years. So this is the first step. Second step, this about what to eat and what to drink. When you have a lot of caffeine, when you eat a lot of sugar, when you eat a lot of salt, if you used to, for example, some kind of easy drugs or some else, you will destroy your brain, and it will goes and it will become more slow and more, less productive. Third level, this is about skills you should learn. We have a lot of skills in school of troubleshooters, but usually we start from the competence. Competence, this is 24 different measurement in which you could measure yourself to understand what is your next step in your planning of life, of career, and some other.
And talking about the next steps in terms of the wakefulness, what are the levels that you need to go through in order to probably say, I'm actually fully awake and fully mindfulness about what is going on?
I like your phrase fully awake. First, you should have a goals. If you have goal, you have orientation in the space. You know what to do and what to know, not to do. You should deny some possibilities because some friends will say you, come on, Maxim, let's go to have a beer. Some will say, come on, let's go to jump from base jumping or something else. But if you have goals, you will achieve the goals and you will go step by step, but without any hesitation and without losing your time. Second, this is about values. You should understand what is most valuable in your life. On first stage or grade, it should be your health. On the second, your family, then your job, then your studying or education, and then your hobby, sport, and so else. And on the third level, when we talk about wakefulness, this is how to become a person which is useful for as many people as possible. You could be useful for your family, you could be useful for your relative, you could be useful for your neighbors, you could be useful for your colleagues. But if you could be useful, for example, for city, for country, or even for whole planet, it would be great.
And this path sounds great, but obviously there might be things that people might be doing wrong while trying to be inefficient. So let's talk about some of the common mistakes that people could potentially make.
There is a saying like imitation of activity. In Russian, it's called имбурдея, имитация бурной деятельности. This means that you are always busy. For example, you grow your flowers, you talk to your neighbors, you, I don't know, working with a dog. To be busy is not mean to be a wakefulness, because we have a lot of people who like a zombie goes on the streets, but they are making like an autopilot. If you would be attentive for yourself, you will understand that sometimes you don't know how you pass the street, how you pass the park. You was in your thoughts, and your eyes was switched off and your ears were switched off, and suddenly you came to the point of destination, but you couldn't remember anything. If you are wakefulness, you will think how to spend this time. For example, you will remind yourself some kind of, I don't know, story. Maybe you will sing a song. Maybe you'll repeat some English words. Maybe you'll make some calculation or make a draft of your article.
And in terms of situations when you do really feel like, okay, you need to be awake, but sometimes like something could be dragging you in. Let's say like something bad happens in your life, or maybe some another projects like taking your time, but you still feel like, okay, you need to move above and actually assess the situation in order to move to the right directions. What are mechanics or maybe methods in order to maybe bump up your wakefulness to probably to a level higher?
First, you never know the goal of your life, and a lot of people just thinking about it but do nothing. So you just should have a pocket. Do I have a goal of my life? What is my goal? Yes, okay, it could be empty for 5, 10, or 20 years. It's no problem. So you should not be very sad because you have no goal. You just have to put this in your measurement. It should be, and you will find it somewhere. Second, you must understand that to be very efficient, it's also bad. You became a robot, and you would be not pleasant person for people who surround you. So sometime maybe you should have a drink. Sometime you will maybe spend some lazy time. Maybe you will do even wrong things. But third level, you anyway should understand that you are going to have some results in real world. It could be book, it could be articles, it could be videos, it could be some kind of, I don't know, buildings or flowers or gardens, but you could not just spend resources of the planet. You should also give something to the people, to the relatives, to the people who live close by you.
And actually, you touch a quite interesting topic, wakefulness for other people. And maybe I'll do a little bit of story that I think probably might be a good segue. So there was a samurai who was traveling, and once upon a time he met the guardian who asked him 3 questions. He said, "Hey, who are you? Stop. Who are you? Where are you coming from? And where are you going to?" And the samurai, instead of giving him a direct answer, he actually said, "Hey, how much they paying for you to do your job?" The guardian replied, "They paying me 2 cups of rice." So samurai said, "I will pay you 3 cups of rice if you will be following me everywhere and ask the same question. Who am I, where I came from, and where I'm going?" So when it comes to wakefulness for other people, let's say like your relatives or maybe colleagues, what will be the approach? Because sometimes, like we may feel like that people might be living somewhere in their, I would say maybe their own matrix. And we feel like, okay, we probably could lend a hand in order to help them to, like awake. So what is the approach, whether it's necessary to do or whether it's still okay to let them do it by themselves?
Maxim, I'm very grateful for your great story. This is really impressive. And when we come closer to your question, I will say, unfortunately, that you couldn't press for other people to be efficient or awakened. This is their choice. Yes, you could make games, for example, with your child, with your spouse, maybe with your colleagues, but not all the time they want to play. They have a lot of different interests, and maybe they will deny some of your attempts. Yes, okay, you want to read a books, for example, you want to write something, you want to create a music, or you want to make some nice pictures. But if other people are unable to do the same, they will think that you are force them to do what you making better than they, and they will shine. So do not press for anyone. You could be like a role model. You could show to everyone how to behave, but do not ask them to follow you like this samurai guardian for the samurai.
That's a great answer. My last question will be how knowing about wakefulness could help make this world a better place.
You know, when we will stay close to the grave, or when we will see someone's tombstone, we'll think what was happening all this time, like 20, 50, or 70 years. And you know, it was like 30 years ago. It was a pity, but my friend lost his parent in some kind of war, which was unofficial for Soviet Union, and we were standing close to his tombstone, and everyone was asked, "Does anyone wants to say something?" And there were a lot of officers who was military men who was serving with this guy, but no one was saying a word. It was just a dead silence. And I was thinking, I don't want to die in such a way. I want to create results. I want to show that I was not a useful.
Живите так, чтобы о вас говорили, даже когда вас не станет. А мы рассмотрели навык бодрствования и чем он полезен именно вам. Всем мира!